Stark Media on location here in Massillon, inside of the Massillon Indoor Facility for the Ohio Tigers Academy. Here with head coach of the Massillon Tigers, Nate Moore, TJ Downing, and Sam Berkwin. Coach, talk about what's going on here today.
It's the Ohio Tigers Academy camp here on campus, and we're happy to have them here. They do a phenomenal job with youth football, and only going into their second season, but what they've been able to accomplish is really something special.
Being able to have Devin Jordan come back, I mean, that's his progression as a coach now has taken him down to Ohio State. It's a pretty special thing, and for these kids to be able to see him, I mean, it's kind of a game changer, right?
Yeah, I mean, to see somebody of Devin's ilk out here and talking football, but also talking about way more important things like, how you handle yourself, in school, out in the community, and the importance of education, and he's such a great role model in Stark County in our school, and we hate to lose him to Columbus, but we know he's going to do great things there and make everybody really, really proud.
Just some of your own guys that you've coached here. I mean, think about Jaden Ballard and what he's been able to do. I mean, and how deep that room is down there. Yeah. And for Coach Hartline and for Coach Jordan to have those guys, and for you to look at maybe the next progression of Caden Woolard. It's kind of his time to step up, and what Luke Murphy and Dean Clark are able to do. How proud are you of those guys as they've made their step and their journey to that level of college football?
I mean, super proud of them. I'm also proud of our other guys that have graduated and have gone on to do great things that aren't playing college football, but our guys that are playing at the next level, we're super proud of them. And the Tigers are having great success right now. Terrence Moore is the number 2 center at Pitt. Dean Clark started for Kent. Luke Murphy's in the rotation for next year at Kent. Magnus Haynes. There's 3 Tigers right there at Kent that are all fighting to start. You got Ohio State can't stop talking about Jaden Ballard right now. Third month for going out into the draft. Caden Woolard is taking first team reps right now this spring with Miami, and by the way, we've got 4 or 5 Tigers at Walsh. We've got 2 Tigers at Ashland, and we've got 3 or 4 Tigers at Wittenberg. There's Tigers everywhere having great success at the college level.
A lot to be proud of, but let's wind it back just a little bit more. Your guys here now, working with Coach Stu, your off-season work. Chase Bond, these guys, Marcus Moore, and Wiltrell Hartson, who are getting this attention from these big colleges. How has their work been this season, this off-season, as they gear up for 2022?
It's been a really good off-season for us so far. Really proud of the guys. We have a hard-working group again this year. And nobody does it better than Coach Dan Studer. I mean, we're blessed and honored to have him here running our strength and conditioning program. And they're developing physically. They're also developing mental toughness, bonding together as a team. And so that's been fun to watch. It's one of the best parts of the offseason, seeing the guys go through that transition. We do have some talent coming back and some up-and-comers that may surprise some people. And so it's an exciting offseason right now.
Sam, we were talking, we got an email from Dave Goff that you guys are going to actually change the kickoff times.
Correct.
How did that all come about?
Well, I mean, I think it's just something that makes sense. In the playoffs, your start time is 7 o'clock. Every time we go on the road, the start time is 7 o'clock. And so you start to take a look at those things. And then you think about, well, if we start at 7, our kids get home earlier. Our coaches get another half an hour of work, maybe before the kids get in on Saturday morning. So there's a lot of positives into making that change. So we measured everything out and said, yeah, let's do it. And so start time's gonna be 7 o'clock. So we'll be 7 o'clock across the board, the entire season.
So I'm going to step out of the box here for a minute. I'm going to go nostalgia. When I was growing up, when Massillon and the school over to the east, they played a lot of standalone Saturday night games when some of the big boys would come into town. Any chance at all we go Massillon Moeller on a Saturday night to stand alone and pack this place and get the whole state of Ohio's eyes watching here on the west side of Stark County?
I mean, our game's scheduled for Friday night. We really like the Friday night experience. I mean, there's something really special about that. I would say we didn't talk about Thursday. We didn't talk about you know, it works best for everybody's schedule to play that game on Friday night. I'm sure there'll still be lots of people in the stands, when we kick off in August.
So, Coach, we sit here a couple days after St. Patrick's Day, indoor facility, hundreds of kids, coaches, players, yourself, and March Madness is going on, baseball's getting going, but what is it about here? You've experienced this for many years now. It's still second to none, right? I think when you're on Twitter, there's only one, right? There's only one Mass. Expound upon that if you could.
Well, I mean, Mass is just a unique place, and the still line from Lou Holtz. If you haven't been here, then it's probably hard to understand. But people that have grown up here, or played here, or been around, maybe they're from the county, they've experienced a little bit of it. Mass is a really unique place.
Yes, sir.
We love our city. I mean, our kids play hard for the city of Mass, and there's such a strong connection between our fan base and our kids. The support that we get, whether you talk about, once again, the city and the community and the fans, but our school district, our administration, I mean, it's second to none. And football's really, really important here. It has been for a long time. It will be, for a long time in the future. And the kids out here right now, they are the future. And we've got 350 kids out here at a youth camp in March. So we're super happy about that.
What does it say about a lot of sports now? It's a 365, college, pro, high school, whatever.
What's up, man?
What are your thoughts? I know you guys know when to step back, maybe take a break and smell the roses a little bit, but talk about the grind of the 365, 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, it just never stops. It's that way for the coaches and our players, but everybody's here for a reason. Right, everybody knows that coming in. Our kids know that coming in. That they understand that there's a lot of responsibility putting on that jersey that says Massillon across the chest, and our coaches know that. When they put on their headsets, there's a lot of responsibility that falls on them too. And I think everybody takes that on willingly, and we carry that burden with pride, and we want to do everything we can to honor the city of Massillon and all the expectations that we have.
When you think about what he mentioned there's some coaches out there and there's some parents out there that's like, hey, you got to focus on one sport. But you look at your quarterback, you look at Ardell Banks, what those two were able to do on the basketball court. They really kind of stepped their game up. I think they led Coach Hose's team. Then you look at Freddie getting out there on the track. Could be odds on favorite to win the 100 meters this spring.
Sure.
And we both know that speed is the name of the game. So when you talk to your guys, is it, hey, do as much as you can, play as many different sports as you can, or is it, hey, always remember that we gotta fall to think about?
Well, I think we definitely encourage our guys to whatever their desires are with sports or anything else, AP classes or the Washingtonians, our choir here at Washington High School, whatever it is to go do that, we always support that. And within the football program, we want to make sure that the guys that maybe aren't playing a winter sport or aren't playing a spring sport aren't lost in the shuffle. So we want to provide the best possible training that we can for those guys. But I think it's all an individual thing. That if kids want to do multiple things, and a lot of kids do, then great, go do it. And just whatever you do it really, really hard. And the kids that don't, then it's fine too. We'll provide unbelievable training here for you. We coach students so that you don't miss a beat either. And so we want to make sure that everybody's accommodated and taken care of from that standpoint. And, so we definitely encourage it and want to make sure that everybody's able to experience everything across the board in high school there is to experience.
Coach, what are you most proud of that you've done here since you come up?
Probably I get the most pride out of seeing our players come back. Whether Vinny McConnell just walked by, he's in training for the draft right now, and to see him, or a Seth Blankenship who was our first quarterback and graduated from Walsh, he's down in the financial world, or Dejon Bradley who was earlier in my tenure here, played for us my first years 15 and 16. He's out here running drills. that's what definitely gives me the most pride is when those guys come back and want to give back or enjoy being around the program. Like, I mean, Andrew Wilson-Lamp, Jaden Ballard. I mean, a lot of our guys. You know, when they're on break, they're here and they're in the weight room when our kids are working out. They're in the indoor when we're doing those things. Sometimes they're just there. They just want to be back and be around it. Because there's, playing college football is special, but you know this. The higher up you get, the more of a business it is, and there's something really, really special still. Thank God about the high school football experience. We think that it's as good as it could possibly be right here, and love seeing our guys come back and want to be still involved with the program in whatever capacity.
Your groups of kids that you have come in year after year, you lose the senior class, you reload, you retool. You mentioned it's cool for you to see guys come back. How about the kids that are here to see Big Ten guys come in, NFL guys come in? And you're not telling those guys to come back. They're coming back because they're Tigers and they love their experience. What's that say? What does that mean for the kids?
It's definitely a positive thing to when you see somebody doing great things that maybe you aspired to, and to have somebody to look at and say, okay, that guy was where I'm at one time, and now he's there, and so if I put my mind to it and things work out, sometimes you gotta get lucky along the way, but that's a possibility for me, and so that's a hugely positive thing to see guys come back and be around the guys.
All right, one final question for you. It's going to be kind of two-phase here. First, your philosophy, or maybe you and Coach Mazur working with your offensive line, and then putting a little shine on Vinny McConnell. Any GMs out there that could be listening to this? Here's a guy that started at tackle, a guy that started at guard, a guy that started at center for the Cincinnati Bearcats. That type of versatility, it's hard to find, and how valuable that makes you when it comes time for the NFL and for the draft. I'm high on Vinny. He's a guy that I believe should get drafted, and I think he will add a lot of value to a team. When you guys are working with your offensive line group, is it know every position from left tackle over to right tackle, or is it, hey, 72 Tay, you're a solid right tackle, we're just going to lock you in right there, but then you got a guy like Jaden Woods who, at any given moment, at any given snap, you could pop him out to left guard or pop him over to the right side. I mean, what is your philosophy on that stuff?
First off, Vinny McConnell. Vinny should be drafted. I think it was a shame that he didn't get invited to Combine. I thought he would have done a great job there. He's a testing freak. He had his senior year coming out of high school. If you remember the old Spark Combine, he had the fastest pro shuttle of any lineman in the country. Says a lot. He's developed incredibly at UC. Coach Phil and that staff's done an unbelievable job with him. I'm excited to see what he does at their pro day. But I expect him, if not get drafted, to have his pick of teams to set up with, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if he's a guy that does 5, 6, 7, 8 years in the NFL. As far as moving guys around the offensive line, you got to give all credit to John Mazur on that. He does an unbelievable job. I think he's the best offensive line coach in the state of Ohio. There's been years where we've been good up front. We haven't been that talented, really. So he does a great job with those guys. And I think, once again, it's all individual. But the more you can do, the more value you have, right? And so John does a great job of taking those guys that do have the ability to play multiple positions and working them around in camp and mixing around. Sometimes you don't have a true set of 5 guys in your twos, and so we're working guys around to make sure guys have experience in different positions. But John does all that, and we want to have at least 8 guys. Sometimes you have 6 or 7. Sometimes you have 9 or 10 and feel really, really good. But if somebody goes down, somebody's got to be ready, and John always has somebody ready to go.
It's always nice to have a pair and a spare, man. You can never have enough big bodies up front. Hey, TJ Downing, Sam Berkman for Stark Media here with head coach of the Massillon Tigers, Nate Moore, inside of the Massillon Indoor Facility of the Ohio Tigers Academy. Appreciate your time, Coach.
Thanks a lot for being here, guys.